Are you in the market for another pedal board or your first pedal board? Do you know what pedals go where? Well, in this video, we have Mr. Dan Diggins, and he's going to walk us through his pedal board setup with his choice of pedals. There is an update I think you should be aware of. My pet chicken Bert had an accident the other day. He went out for a walk and accidentally fell into a deep fryer and was eaten by a family of 4. I hope you will subscribe so I can afford my new pet fish, Mr. Limpet. He's used to only the best, so I will need a lot of new subscribers.
Good to be back at your studio, and I see you've done some nice work here to make it a little more comfortable. It's wonderful here.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, today I've come here with my personal pedal board setup that I use for playing gigs in a couple of bands that I'm in. I'd just like to explain that a little bit. So I've got this pedal board pretty much tailored to what suits me for what I need for what I'm looking for to achieve with my guitar sound. Not everybody's going to use a pedal board that has the pedals that I have. I'm an old school guy. I kind of like stomp boxes because they're either on or off and the controls are all there. Digital pedals are great. There can be a lot of learning curves and a lot of parameters to be set up in those things. But I mean, anybody that has a pedal board that suits them, you know, maybe this will help answer some questions about routing or answer some questions for you about what you might want to do with your pedal board. I like this pedal board because the power is integrated into the board itself. I don't have to have a separate power pack. So this is my AC in here, and this is the AC out. And from there, this cable, it's all routed through spaces under the pedals. And it's all, once I've got it set up, I'm not going to be moving anything. And the power is all integrated, as well as my guitar will go into here and ends up coming out here. So all the that's all integrated into the board as well. And there's also an effects loop built into it, which the effects in would come here, and then this would go out to the amp. So it's all pretty compact, and I like it because it's just very simple once I've got it set up.
We're going to take a little break and have Gern explain more about the Boss pedal board.
Create a custom layout with your favorite stomps evolved from the famous Boss BCB 60 pedal board players used for almost 2 decades. The next generation BCB 90X delivers more versatility for modern pedal setups. A customizable insert lets you create a personalized layout with various pedal types, including Boss Compacts, GT1000 Core and 200/500 series pedals, loop switchers, volume expression pedals, and others. Tough molded construction offers great looks, durability, and lightweight, while built-in junction boxes make connections on the gig fast and easy.
The way I've got the routing done here, from my input, I'm going into this tuner here. The reason I've got 2 tuners here is because one of these will go out to the bass player's vocal setup, but he's got a harmony pedal. So if we're playing parts where the guy I'm playing with, Daryl, is doing a harmony part, I step on this pedal and I can play the chords of the guitar on the guitar will be muted, but they'll still go out to his harmony pedal. You know, so that's why I've got that tuner there, and I've got another tuner here. So the things that I've got going into the front of my amp are the noise suppression pedal, this tuner, and this wah-wah pedal. And then from there, it routes over here and comes out of here, goes into the front of the amp. The other pedals, this is a Spark clean boost pedal. From here I go into the MXR Phase 90 analog course, the digital delay, and this graphic equalizer. All this stuff goes through the effects loop of my amp. So I find by putting these modulation pedals through the effects loop, well, I did try it for a while. I used to put modulation pedals like this right in line into the front of my amp, and I found what would happen is the delay pedal, especially I would notice it would start to break up if I had a little too much, because I guess it's going through the power section of the amp. And the coarse pedal would start to break up a little bit. They didn't sound clean. I found once I put them through the effects loop of the amp, they're crystal clean, and I didn't have to push them as much even. So then I also this clean boost pedal, which is what I use for if I'm want to boost a lead section or in the middle of a song. It'll go from anywhere from 0 up to 20 decibels of a boost. Now, at first I had this pedal routed through the front of the amp, along with these other pedals, and I found people kept telling me, well, I can't hear your leads, Dan. And the more I turned this up, I thought, well, that should do now. And I had this thing almost full blast, and I'd turn it on to boost the lead, and it still wasn't coming through or making it any louder, because what happens is it hits the front of the amp and goes into the power section, and it was just overdriving the amp. I found once I routed this pedal along with these other pedals into the effects loop, I no longer had to crank it. I'm going, okay, I can have it probably about a couple of dBs over, and it's once again going through the effects loop. It's crystal clean, and it makes a big difference. So, there's a lot of different ways to route pedals, but if you have an amp that has an effects loop, definitely pedals like that I find are much more, they're cleaner and much more effective going through an effects loop. So the other part I've got here is this is just the switching for the amp itself, which comes, I've got a Fender Supersonic 22, and this is the pedal that comes with it. So, I can turn the entire effects off with that button if I want to, and that's a reverb for the amp. So that's the switching for the amp itself, channel switching and effects and reverb switching. So I find this really easy to use, and it's been pretty trouble-free. So I hope that answers some questions for you about routing and what you might want to try for different things for your setup. Hope that helps you out.
So Dan, why did you specifically pick those pedals?
Well, so I chose this delay pedal. Well, I like Boss. They're good, well-made pedals. They're durable, very easy to control. I can see all the controls right in front of me here. If I want more delay, it's very easy, even in the middle of a song, to reach down and make some adjustments. So that's why I like this pedal. I really like the tone of it.
Does price have a factor in you picking any of these pedals?
I guess a little bit. Like, if this pedal was $500, I may think twice about purchasing it. I think it was around 160 or 170 or something like that. So for me personally, to pay that much for a pedal, if there's other pedals in that price range, I did try a couple out that were in the ballpark of the same price, and I just liked the sound of this one better. So I mean, that's all personal taste. This analog coarse pedal, I've tried some other digital coarse pedals, and they don't seem to have the same warmth as an analog coarse pedal has. They sound a little more, they sound a little more digital, which some applications that's fine, but when it comes to coarse, I really like an analog coarse. And I've always liked the Boss CE2 is about my favorite coarse pedal, and this is about the closest thing to the sound of that I could find. So it's got a nice warm sound. And my son Dan gave me this MXR Phase 90 for Christmas a couple years ago. Very basic, very simple phase pedal. There's your speed, and it's on or off, and I don't use it a lot, but there's a couple songs in the bands that I play where I'll step on that, and it just gives me a nice phase sound, and then this graphic equalizer. I played for years without an EQ, of any kind, just what I had in my amp. But I found putting this into the effects loop of my rig, it really allows me to tailor the sound. I usually keep it with the mids boosted a little bit because I like to hear the mids on a guitar. I've always liked that sound. Some people may like to hear more treble, but the thing about, so with a pedal like this, it's very versatile. Some people that I know have used a equalizer pedal like this as a lead boost pedal because it has a volume here where you can step on that and it will boost your lead and change the sound of it too. So these are very versatile. I don't mind paying a little bit more for if I'm getting a pedal that I know it's what I want. I'd rather, and sounds the way I want.
And boosting up the mids also helps it cut through the mix.
It will do that, yeah, because you know the different frequencies of the bass or another, or a keyboard or something. This kind of helps it sit at its own level frequency-wise as well.
Thanks again, Dan, for doing the pedal board review. Go out and see live entertainment, like this one here. Or this one here. Be good to each other, share your knowledge, and until next time.